But first, it's rare these days to attend a really spirited media conference, but this afternoon was an exception when the DPP, Stephen Pallaras, decided to swap from prosecutor to defender, going into bat for controversial forensic pathologist Dr Cala. Dr Cala's troubled past came to light recently when it was revealed he had mistaken a double homicide for a car accident in New South Wales 6 years ago. But Mr Pallaras says it's premature to judge Dr Cala's competence and will continue to use him. The media, on the other hand, were of one mind about the need to exercise caution with expert opinions that could put people in jail for life or let killers go free. What's surprising is that while he urged Today Tonight to hold off a story on Dr Cala that might have influenced a jury, his office has shown no interest in what we might know that he does not. Here's Graham Archer.
Are you not personally concerned about the credibility of expert witnesses that you engage in murder trials?
Of course I am. It's important that we call people of repute, that we call people as experts who are experts. My point, however, is this. I'm not in a position to judge the expertise of scientists, doctors or people who are specialists in areas in which I'm not.
This afternoon, the DPP Stephen Pallaras set out to prosecute the media and defend an expert Crown witness who currently faces the most serious questions about his professional credibility.
Unhelpful publicity surrounding the position of senior consultant pathologist Dr Cala has caused much unnecessary anguish in the community.
Last night, we exposed yet another possible scandal within our justice system, involving Adelaide's senior forensic pathologist, Dr Cala, over this terrible bungle.
When Bill and Pam Waitman's bodies were discovered in their car 6 years ago, Dr Cala found it was an accident. What he missed was that the Waitman's son, David, had drugged them and smothered them before rolling them down the embankment.
It was left to the bereaved family to catch the killer themselves and expose his accomplice.
Have you spoken to the family involved?
Which family?
The family
in what?
The family who, in New South Wales, from the very start...
No, I haven't, is the answer.
We also revealed Dr Cala as a pathologist with other possible skeletons in his closet.
For years, staff at Glebe Morgue removed organs and bones and practiced plastic surgery without relatives either knowing or consenting.
Dr Cala was one of those involved in the body snatchers inquiry, and though no one was charged, he was singled out as the only one who didn't think what he'd done was inappropriate.
Only Dr Cala, one of the pathologists on the Institute staff, appeared partly to contest this.
We also discovered that when Cala gained entry to the Royal College of Pathologists back in 1994, his examiner was none other than disgraced forensic pathologist Dr Colin Manock.
Does it surprise you that Dr Manock was nominated as an examiner when the Royal College of Pathologists must have known then about his history?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these are matters of public record for many years past now. And the idea that Dr Manock would be accepted as an examiner at the very time when his own conduct was in question in relation to the baby deaths is a shocking situation.
Does it concern you that he was given his fellowship to the Royal College of Pathologists by an examination taken in front of Dr Manock, Colin Manock, who at the time himself was in the process of being discredited over misdiagnosing the deaths of 3 babies?
I'm not prepared to debate all of the assumptions in that question. I'm simply not qualified to answer that.
And from the start, Dr Cala's conduct in Adelaide was not what's expected of an objective scientist. At the Attorney-General's nasty bidding, he produced a vicious and grossly inaccurate report attacking Professor Tony Thomas, the pathologist who'd exposed Manock's baby death bungles, and later raised serious concerns about aspects of Manock's work in the Keogh case.
Now, that was a pretty dirty business, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a very shabby affair.
After all that, the DPP called a press conference to say his office had been assured by Dr Cala the double homicide bungle was a simple mistake and that he would continue to use him as an expert. Hardly what we'd expected to hear.
We cannot have, until proven, allegations being constantly made in the public arena, about people who at best that I can see so far, have made a mistake and had admitted to it.
The DPP said that they had consulted the Forensic Science Centre and they too had confidence in Dr Cala.
And for as long as that remains the position and the advice of the Forensic Science Centre to this office, advice upon which we must rely, this office will continue to use Dr Cala as an expert witness in coming cases.
However, the DPP's office had not done its own inquiries beyond that.
How would it be that the family saw the bodies on the day they died and said to Dr Cala and police, and this man's a Boilermaker, they look like they've been in a fight?
We planned to run our story on Dr Cala on Monday night, but we were contacted by the Crown Solicitor on behalf of the DPP, asking us to hold off because a jury was about to retire in a murder trial in which Dr Cala had been a Crown witness. And we did.
You, as I understood it, because that was the instruction I got from my lawyer, asked us to hold back the story because some of the evidence may have affected...
What's the question, please?
Well, some of the evidence may have affected the jury, which we did.
Yes.
Since then...
Not really good advice, don't you think?
Well, I would have thought that it would have made sense for you then to follow up and ask exactly what it was that you thought might be so important as to affect the jury's decision.
It's astonishing that your lawyers or those involved didn't have the wit to understand why that was a dangerous situation. You were threatening in your ridiculous promotions to expose something or other that clearly would impinge upon a jury's decision. Why you, as a journalist of many years' experience, could not see the danger in that is beyond me.
Mr. Pallaras,
and therefore,
we withheld the story.
Just wait, Mr. Archer, please. I haven't finished. And it's clear that the advice that was suggested to your lawyers was accepted. So they saw the sense in it. Why you can't
The decision was
is
mine.
beyond me.
The decision was mine,
Is there
Mr.
any other
Pallaras.
question?
One question.
Is there any other question
Why
from
didn't
anyone
you
else?
follow up?
If what we were about to reveal might influence a jury, why wouldn't the DPP's office follow up and ask what it was that we had on Dr Cala?
These have been raised. Why wouldn't you follow up? Why wouldn't you follow up, for instance, and ask us what it is that we have in the background?
ask you?
Well, ask us what it is we have in the background that gives us the confidence to publish a story like we did. And the reason we've got that confidence, Mr. Pallaras, is we've actually done our homework.
You, sir, whatever qualifications you do have, do not include qualifications in forensic pathology. That's why.
The rest of the media also expressed concern that the most prudent approach was surely to put Dr Cala on ice until the DPP could be 100% sure of his professional competence.
That assumes that he is not worthy of presentation as an expert witness. I'm not in a position to make that assumption. I'm relying on advice which was given to me not but a few days ago by those who employ him, by his professional peers who give me advice.
Dr Cala is involved in around a dozen cases currently in the hands of the DPP. No doubt this press conference will prove seriously embarrassing to someone. Time will tell just who that might be.
No more questions? Thank you very much.